But tonight, the story that's breaking this evening, a short while ago, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has made a statement on her Islamabad visit. And the big takeaway, India and Pakistan have now agreed to restart the stalled dialogue process. Pakistan, on its part, reassuring India about a speedy trial in the 26/11 Mumbai attack case. Emerging from a 45-minute-long delegation-level discussion with Pakistan counterpart Sartaj Aziz, Sushma Swaraj announcing that India and Pakistan will engage in wholesome talks. Sushma Swaraj saying foreign secretaries of both countries will now meet to work out details on how to take this composite dialogue forward, adding that all aspects of the bilateral ties will be covered, which essentially means that both terror and Kashmir are on the table. The details of the joint statement will then be placed before the Indian Parliament tomorrow. Let's just listen in to what Sushma Swaraj had to say.
मैं आज यहाँ हार्ट ऑफ एशिया कॉन्फ्रेंस में भाग लेने आई थी, लेकिन उसके साथ ही मेरी मुलाकात प्रधानमंत्री नवाज शरीफ जी के साथ और फॉरेन अफेयर्स के एडवाइजर श्री सरताज साहब के साथ थी। मुझे खुशी है कि मेरी दोनों मुलाकातें बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी हुई। और अभी मुझसे पूछा जा रहा था कोई ब्रेक थ्रू है, कोई खबर है। जिस खबर के लिए आप लोग सुबह से इंतजार कर रहे हैं वो खबर है। हम दोनों देशों ने समग्र वार्ता प्रारंभ करने का फैसला ले लिया है। मैं बता रही मुझे पूरा कर लेने दीजिए, बता रही हूँ। जो डायलॉग कॉम्पोजिट डायलॉग के नाम पे चल रहा था, बाद में रिज्यूम्ड डायलॉग के नाम पर चला। हमने तय किया है कि हम नए सिरे से उसको कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव बायलैटरल डायलॉग कहेंगे। कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव बायलैटरल डायलॉग में वो सभी पिलर्स होंगे जो कॉम्पोजिट डायलॉग में थे, पर उसके अलावा भी कुछ और चीजें जोड़ी जा सकती हैं। इस कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव बायलैटरल डायलॉग को आगे कैसे बढ़ाया जाए, इसके लिए दोनों देशों के फॉरेन सेक्रेटरीज को हमने कहा है कि वो बैठ करके शेड्यूल भी इसका तय कर लें और मोडालिटीज भी। शेड्यूल यानी कब कब किस किस पिलर की मीटिंग होगी, और मोडालिटीज यानी कौन कौन सेक्रेटरी या किस लेवल पर ये डायलॉग होगा। लेकिन जो सबसे बड़ी चीज है कि जो कॉम्पोजिट डायलॉग और बाद में रिज्यूम डायलॉग के नाम से चीज रुकी पड़ी थी, वो बैंकॉक में हमारे एनएसएस की मीटिंग के बाद और वो एनएसएस की मीटिंग की टॉक्स, वहां की वार्ता सफल होने के बाद आज जो हम लोगों की मुलाकात हुई, उसमें हमने ये तय किया कि भारत और पाकिस्तान आपस में समग्र वार्ता करेंगे। हम एक बहुत छोटा सा एक जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट आपको दे रहे हैं, उसमें कुछ डिटेल्स हैं जो आपको मिल जाएंगी। मैं चूंकि संसद में कहकर आई हूं कि कल वहां बयान दूंगी, तो इसलिए उस मर्यादा को रखते हुए इससे ज्यादा मैं और कुछ नहीं कहना चाहूंगी। लेकिन ये खबर हम लोगों को जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट के माध्यम से आपको देनी ही थी, तो मुझे लगा कि इतना मैं स्वयं बता दूं कि भारत और पाकिस्तान समग्र वार्ता के लिए तैयार हो गए। धन्यवाद।
Okay, let's go straight across first to Smita Sharma, who's joining me for the very latest from Islamabad. Smita, you were there at that press conference. What are we to understand? Are we to say that we are now back to the dialogue table in terms of every issue, every single issue being on the table, not just terror, Kashmir and security related issues, but from cultural exchanges, commercial ties, to cricket, to every issue which has been pending over the last 18 months, some would say, is back on the table, is back on the dialogue table? Smita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Rajdeep.
My simple question...
You're answering.
Yes, go ahead.
To answer your question, if you remember, post the Mumbai attacks also, there have been, in fact, several occasions where the heads of states, the then Prime Ministers, be it Manmohan Singh, Yusuf Raza Gilani, they met along the sidelines of multilateral summits, especially SARC, from Maldives to Bhutan. They were trying to find a way to restart this dialogue process, but every time then BJP, that was in the opposition, would make an absolute hue and cry about it and make sure that the government would face some sort of a domestic political repercussion. At the moment, that BJP government in power after 18 months has gone back to the dialogue table with Pakistan. What they have done is renamed that composite dialogue process, because there was a controversy around the name as well, and they've renamed it now to the resumed bilateral dialogue. And earlier the composite dialogue process essentially used to have 8 heads. Now you see an expanded head. So the earlier confidence-building measures are now expanded into separate heads, which also includes issues like religious tourism to humanitarian issues, some things that have always been discussed. But clearly, yes, the two sides, because, at the end of the day, you've seen that political push at the highest level now happen, be at that meeting between Narendra Modi and Nawaz Sharif, that NSA's secret parleys all the way in Bangkok, to now the foreign ministers' meeting. So for the dialogue process to begin, the next level will be for the bureaucrats to sit down and start hammering out the details. And once the Home Secretaries, Foreign Secretaries sit down and talk, the Defense Secretaries meet, that essentially would have meant anyways the resumption of the dialogue process.
Okay, I just want to get in more opinion on this. With me in the studio is G Parthasarthy, former High Commissioner to Pakistan, Jyoti Malhotra of India Today. I'm also joined by Ashwini Kumar of the Congress and by GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP, because we are trying to understand what this means. But you are saying that this is not a resumption of the composite dialogue as far as you are concerned.
Absolutely not.
She said Samagra dialogue. What does that mean?
Samagra in Hindi can be composite or comprehensive.
So what is the difference?
She has said in English. I will tell you what the difference is, if you have the patience.
Yes, I have the patience.
Firstly, we started off...
When with India and Pakistan, we have to have a lot of patience, but go ahead.
Firstly, we started off with at UFA, where it was terrorism focused. Nawaz Sharif agreed, and we sort of overplayed it. He faced flak from the army and had to pull back. Nawaz Sharif pulled back from what was agreed. Okay? Then you had to get started some way. And the way I think which has been found is good for two reasons. One, Nawaz has a national security advisor who's a hardcore army man, just recently retired, a confidant of the army chief. Second, within Pakistan, let's face it, Nawaz is marginal. The man who matters is the army chief, General Rahil Sharif. So for the first time, we've got a security dialogue on terrorism, going as she linked.
But as part of the comprehensive dialogue.
Just a minute.
As part of the comprehensive dialogue.
Let me complete.
Go ahead.
So for the first time, you've got at NSA's level terrorism on the thing. And she has linked all this to the terrorism thing. And don't forget, the first two paragraphs of this joint statement focus on terrorism.
Yes.
All right. So we've got our way as of a terrorism-centric dialogue.
You believe this is a terrorism-centric dialogue?
And Pakistan has got its way. And Pakistan has got its way on the Kashmir dispute. That's fine. Because there are two people on this panel. And what I'd like to say is that you're talking about 18 months, Rajdeep. I think India and Pakistan have been waiting for 18 years, because it was in 1997 that then Prime Minister I.K. Gujral launched what we called a composite dialogue. You can call it whatever you want.
Parthasarthy is saying this is not a composite dialogue.
He can call it whatever he wants. All the issues are on the table.
1 minute, Jyoti. Can I just a minute, gentlemen. Gentlemen, lady, just a minute. It says, and I want to get a Pakistan perspective for a moment, because we're getting a phone in from Brigadier Mahmood Shah also from there. The Indian side was assured of the steps being taken to expedite the early conclusion of the Mumbai trial, and the two sides noted the successful talks on terrorism and security issues in Bangkok by the two NSAs, and there where all issues connected to terrorism were addressed. You believe, therefore, that makes it a terrorism-centric...
No. I'm saying there are two streams of a dialogue. One.
There are two streams.
He's agreeing with me, Rajdeep, that there are two streams.
You're great. I say, how can I disagree with you?
I'm so glad publicly you've acknowledged it.
So there are two streams of the dialogue, which is different. The NSAs focus exclusively on terrorism and the other issues they've referred to. But they are security related.
Can I just get a Pakistani? Can I just understand how the Pakistanis?
Yes. This one more sentence. The issues, certainly all the issues covered in the composite dialogue will be there, but the foreign secretaries are first to sit down and work out the new comprehensive dialogue. So you have a new comprehensive dialogue on the one hand, reinforced, I believe, most importantly, as I said, I'm very pleased that there is a general on the Pakistani side. They have expressed some concerns on terrorism. Let's sit down and sit quietly and talk.
Can I just get a Pakistani perspective? Brigadier Mahmood Shah, is this how you are interpreting this? That there are two streams now to the dialogue, one which will exclusively be centered around terrorism and security, and then all other issues, including Kashmir, will be kept in a separate basket?
No, Jammu and Kashmir figures in the other also.
No, not that way.
Yes.
Where we understand, and our TV are showing that India have agreed to a comprehensive dialogue process and which includes all the issues pertaining to Kashmir.
Okay, I'm having some problem with your line. I'm having some problem with your phone line, but what I want to know, and this is the big political question here, is that what has really changed in these months between UFA, then in New York, where the two leaders are across a table, wave to each other but do not talk to each other, then suddenly in Paris are found sitting on a sofa a month ago, and now you are in a situation where they've agreed to resumption of dialogue. That's the big question. Is there a U-turn? Does the Congress and the BJP see this as a U-turn? GVL Narasimha Rao, your first reactions. Is this a U-turn by the Narendra Modi government, which said we will first want the Mumbai trial and terrorism issues to be settled, then we will discuss other issues. Now both will run in parallel.
Rajdeep,
yes.
far from what you are saying, this has strengthened our position from UFA. I will explain to you how. I think you must really carefully look at the two statements, the UFA joint statement and the statement that has been put out today. UFA joint statement was, I think this is what it said. Both sides agreed to discuss ways and means to expedite the Mumbai case trial.
Yes.
And this was misinterpreted by Pakistan subsequently and conveniently to say that both sides will have to do it. It's not just Pakistan which would expedite the case in Mumbai trial. India also has the onus of giving a lot of evidence and all other complaints. But today, Pakistan has taken the responsibility. I think read carefully the language. The Indian side was assured of the steps taken to expedite the early conclusion of Mumbai trial. So there is no scope for any kind of misinterpretation of this statement.
Right.
Pakistan has taken the full responsibility to ensure that this trial goes on. Secondly, even the UFA statement clearly mentioned they are prepared to discuss all outstanding issues. So what is mentioned in point number 3 today in the joint statement?
Sir,
these are the outstanding issues. So we have not conceded anything. If anything, Pakistan today has agreed to put terrorism on the top of our discussions, and that precedes all outstanding issues that are mentioned at a lower point.
My only sense
so
was,
the terrorism and security considerations have taken.
So my sense was that primacy was accorded in UFA as well. And then when it came to the two NSAs meeting, the talks seemed to collapse. So I'm just trying to understand what has dramatically changed. Jyoti, do you see anything that has dramatically changed?
I think the big change from UFA is that you have Jammu and Kashmir very clearly in the joint statement today. So of course, all the other issues are there, whether it's water. Remember, Rajdeep, Siachen, which we haven't talked about Siachen for years. Siachen is back on the table. Sir Creek is back on the table. But listen, the other thing is that
a terrorism-centered dialogue or not?
What I would say
to that extent, Narendra Modi's government could claim that we have managed to force the Pakistanis to say we will discuss terrorism first.
That's true. Not only terrorism, he has forced the Pakistanis to come online to say that we will do something on the Mumbai attacks. I think for India, that's absolutely the bottom line. That movement on the Mumbai attacks by the Pakistan establishment, and Partha is absolutely right. The new NSA of Pakistan, Mr. Janjua, is a recently retired, very powerful general, which means that he's very close to the Pakistan Army chief. So therefore, India is doing two things. You're talking to Nawaz Sharif, because the dialogue is actually a civilian dialogue between the two governments, but you're also talking to the Pakistan Army. That's
I take your point.
I'm very happy
just a minute.
For once, Jyoti and I are totally agreed.
Yeah, okay, good. That's a good sign. I just want to get a Congress perspective, because Ashwini Kumar, the Congress has been saying that Narendra Modi has done a U-turn. What we are sensing from this joint statement is not so much a U-turn, but the two sides finally, in a sense, agreeing to a meeting of minds that was hoped for in UFA, but now finally finds expression in this joint statement.
Well, let me just clarify the position on your channel, Rajdeep. I see nothing more than a statement of pious intent in the joint statement. I do not see any content being given to the generalities of what has been stated. I do not see what has been stated as having changed to restart the comprehensive dialogue. We are not against the comprehensive dialogue. Congress has always maintained that a meaningful dialogue towards a purpose, towards an end, is the desired thing to do. And if they are doing that, if they can achieve success, so be it, the nation will be happy. But nothing, there's nothing concrete which has come out. Now, when you say that it is terrorist-centric breakthrough, I'm very apprehensive. I'm fearful. Pakistan's stated position forever has been that terrorism and Kashmir cannot be delinked. They have brought Kashmir back to the center of the discussion, and we had at one point of time stated that this was non-negotiable. So when you talk of comprehensive dialogue, many things that were hitherto no from our side have been brought in. I do not know to what extent we are going to
hold on. You know, this is
negotiations.
He should take the Congress party should take credit for what has happened today. This is a continuation of the Manmohan Singh line, which is that you talk about all issues. And remember, it was when Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister that the Mumbai attacks took place, and he cancelled all dialogue with Pakistan. Ashwini Kumar should take credit for what's happened today, because Narendra Modi is only picked up from what Manmohan Singh has done.
Which is not for the first time, some would say, which has happened with the... No, but just a minute. What has changed?
The game changed.
What has changed, please, between UFA and now?
Look, the fact of the matter is...
Why did the two NSAs, for example, call off talks in August? These are legitimate questions that will be asked.
The reason you couldn't stick on to UFA was Nawaz Sharif couldn't deliver what he has signed on.
No, there was no Jammu and Kashmir in UFA. The Indian side insisted, and mysteriously the Pakistan side agreed that there would be no mention of Jammu and Kashmir. You cannot have a dialogue in which one party is made to look small and humiliated. You have to have an equal dialogue.
Please. I come back. Nawaz Sharif could not deliver. Do you stop there? Deliver on what came in UFA.
Yes.
So I think what has happened thereafter is the NSAs have met.
Yes.
And again I repeat, to have a General Nasir Janjua as the NSA at that side is good, because we've finally got the army sitting on the other side.
So that's the change. The army is on board.
Jammu and Kashmir is back.
Just a minute. Jammu and Kashmir was always there.
Yes.
It was a part of the composite dialogue. It's there. UFA, as
it was not there in
one by one. It's unfair on the viewers, please. One by one. Yes.
Why are you interrupting?
Yeah, ma'am. Come on.
The fact of the matter is, what Nawaz Sharif agreed to, he could not deliver. Now, whether that was right or wrong, he could not deliver. The army overruled him. So we had to arrive at a new framework. That broad framework was set by the National Security Advisors when they met. I thought it was a very good framework. As we have discussed, there are mutual concerns on terrorism. Let's talk about it. But that shall remain, to my mind, focused on the NSAs and the militaries and DGMOs.
So you're saying what we have is a situation where the two NSAs will now focus on all security and terrorism issues and all other issues.
And whether Jammu and Kashmir is to be back channel or whatever, that will be decided in due course.
No, I just want to get in Shafkat Saeed from Islamabad. What has changed, Mr. Saeed, for the Pakistanis to suddenly say that all steps will be taken to expedite the early conclusion of the Mumbai trial? Am I to understand, therefore, that Pakistan will now has given some firm commitment on the Mumbai trial?
I think both the government, including Pakistani government, they must fulfill the pledge they made after these talks, and I think rest of the politicians should not pull legs of the party of the government.
Mr. Saeed, sir, is Pakistan committing itself to
the government fulfill their pledge?
No, is Pakistan committing itself to ensuring that those involved in the 26/11 terror attack are prosecuted? Is that this is now what this statement is saying. I want to know whether there is some hidden agenda here, or am I to read the statement as I see it?
Yeah, I think there should be no hidden agenda, and both the governments must fulfill their pledge, and Pakistani government must fulfill the pledge it has made, and the Indian government must fulfill its pledge.
Absolutely.
And whether these trials take place or not, time will tell. I'm an analyst. I'm not part of the government that I can tell you, yes, we are doing it tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I can't give you any timeline on that.
But I'll tell you what the worry is.
I would also see it in...
But I'll tell you what the concern is. I'll tell you what the Indian concern is. And GVL Narasimha Rao, that's a concern that every government has to deal with. That all this is fine on paper. When it actually comes tomorrow, God forbid there is some firing across the LOC. God forbid there is some terror attack. What happens to this piece of paper? What happens to the joint statement? What happens to the planned cricket tour, which is going to, some are saying, could take place as early as the 24th of December? Will that all again be discarded? Is this all premised on certain preconditions?
Rajdeep, I think the implicit agreement in all such statements is that both the parties to the agreement, both the countries will deliver on their promises and will not do anything that will derail the process. It's simply incumbent on their governments, on both the governments. And it has been Pakistan, most of the time, all the time rather, had reneged on their commitments. And now, over the past few months, you have seen how Pakistan Prime Minister, over the last few months, was urging India to come to talks without any preconditions. So India would certainly want to go on this path. India would want to deliver on its commitments, but Pakistan must also deliver. That's an implicit agreement. It cannot be simply one-way traffic.
Okay, but I still want to understand one very simple thing, because now we are getting breaking news at the moment that Pakistan's cricket board chief Shahryar Khan has expressed his disappointment that there is no specific mention of cricketing ties. The Pakistan Cricket Board saying, why is there no specific mention of cricketing ties? Now, no one knows this better than you, Mr. Parthasarthy, because you are a great cricket follower apart from anything else. Do you expect cricketing ties to resume?
No.
No?
No.
You don't expect this statement to have created a window of opportunity for cricket to resume in the next fortnight?
I must tell you just what the founder editor of the Jung, Mir Khalilur Rahman, told me.
Yes.
When we were getting thrashed in Karachi by Imran Khan and his team, I asked him about cricket and he said, Consul General Saab, हमारे मुल्क में ये मसला है कि हम जंग के मैदान को एक क्रिकेट का मैदान समझते हैं और क्रिकेट के मैदान को एक जंग के मैदान बना देते हैं.
But this is saying people to people exchange, everything is...
I would love it. I tell you what I want.
Will it happen? Will it happen or not, in your view? Cricket, will it happen this month or not? Yes or no?
I doubt it.
You doubt it. Ashwini Kumar, the question that I asked GVL Narasimha Rao, the part of the problem is the way the opposition reacts. Every time there is, God forbid, as I said, a terror attack. Does this mean that this piece of paper is worthless?
It is.
The question that you asked has remained unanswered, and it's a valid question. You have said, what will happen if ABC happens?
Yes.
And there was no reply. And then at the same time we say that this is an unconditional movement forward towards a dialogue. Nothing is unconditional in international diplomatic relationships or negotiations. Everything is premised on a particular state of things. We have always said that we were always prepared for a dialogue, and we were the people who started the dialogue, and we want a successful conclusion of a dialogue. But the fact is that any forward movement is premised on stoppage of cross-border terrorism, is dependent upon dilution of belligerence on the part of Pakistan as far as discourse on terrorist activity is concerned, and ceasefire and violation of the line of control, which is happening every day.
Which is exactly my point. Which, sir, with due regard, that is exactly...
Your point has not been answered. That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly my point, Jyoti. Please tell me, what has changed? You know, what has changed for the two prime ministers whose body language in New York was of two hostile forces, whose body language changes in Paris to two friends, to the point where Sushma Swaraj suddenly flies down. Something has changed. Is it simply the fact that the NSA of Pakistan has changed and is someone who's now close to the army? Has there been a nudge given by a third party to get the two sides back on the table yet again?
I think, Rajdeep, the Prime Minister has also realized in his last 18 months, as he's traveled the world and met Barack Obama and Tony Abbott and David Cameron and all the big world leaders, that he cannot be a world leader, or India cannot be a power unless you resolve the problems in your own region. And I think there has been a big push by the American president, by Barack Obama, the British Prime Minister David Cameron. There is a definite push. But to the PM's credit, I have to say that I think he, wants, so if you have India-Pakistan, if you resolve the big tension between our two countries, you do resolve a lot of the problems in South Asia.
But I come back to it, Mr. Parthasarthy. Please see what has happened in the last 18 months. This blow hot, blow cold has reached a level which perhaps has never happened. If the Hurriyat is invited to the Pakistan High Commissioner's house, you cancel Foreign Secretary level talks. Then you go to UFA, make certain commitments. You say Nawaz Sharif could not deliver on them. But the fact is it has been blow hot, blow cold. The message that has gone out is an extremely mixed message. Even on cricket. Rajiv Shukla comes outside Parliament and says we are having a series. BCCI is ready to start a series. And now we don't know whether the series is going to take place or not. Isn't it clear that this government on Pakistan, from giving shawls and saris one day to next day a frosty relationship, something has gone wrong?
That has gone on for 68 years. No, I have served every government starting with Jawaharlal Nehru,
yes,
up to Atal Bihari Vajpayee. This has been a continuing feature of this relationship. Now let us see if we can, and I think Sushma said some very important things today in the conference.
Yes,
she spoke of connectivity. She spoke of let's agree to trade at a pace you are comfortable with. So it was pretty conciliatory. So I think what we are realizing is there has to be a measure, a good harmonious mix of conciliation and also firmness.
Okay, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there because it's clear that with India and Pakistan we've seen so many false dawns that the best thing is not to get too excited. And I think the best thing about this dialogue process is it's being conducted mainly outside the gaze of 24/7 news cameras. I think the NSAs did the best thing by going to Bangkok and holding their meeting rather than in New Delhi or Islamabad. So maybe peace finally has
one thing. The only time when we made progress was the Brajesh Mishra back channel.
So back channels is the way forward.
And the Lamba back channel.
I take your point, sir. So back channels perhaps is the best way forward when it comes to India and Pakistan. Is this another false dawn? Or are we actually going to see at least some minimal progress, at least some management of this tempestuous relationship? That, as they say, time will tell. Thank you all very much for joining me here on our big story today that's been breaking this evening. The other big story is happening inside Parliament because the noise over the National Herald case has gone up several notches today. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi today directly accusing Prime Minister Modi of political vendetta. That resulted in repeated adjournments, and it means that the winter session could be heading the monsoon way. Maha Siddiqui now reports.